Howdy West Ham fans, I'm Sam.
I'm Joe.
And today is the first episode of Have Your West Ham View. You'll have to bear with us because...
Bit of a trial and error.
Bit of a trial and error. We haven't really done anything like this before. Joe has from the other side of the camera.
Yeah.
I haven't really.
Not in front of
all.
it though.
But we're going to give it a bash and see how it goes.
Obviously, so Sam runs the West Ham View Facebook group. I think we should just get started on obviously your story with that and how you got it started and sort of how far it's come really.
Yeah, so when I was a young 13-year-old, always trying to think of something new to do, and I was an aspiring journalist, so I was talking to my uncle who was a picture editor at the Irish Times at the time, and he was giving me advice. He was sort of saying, you know, try and get a community behind you, and that can put you in good stead for, you know, where you want to be later in life. So I set that up when I was 13, and yeah, it grew slowly. It started off just so.
I remember when we was at school. So me and Sam went to school together, and we were neighbours for 4 or 5 years as well.
Yeah.
We went to school together, and I remember joining the group at about, I think it was about 5k members then.
Yeah.
Which was about 2016 or so.
Yeah.
So how long had you been going then? So you was
that was going to be a couple of years. Yeah.
So 2-3 years, wasn't it, at least?
Yeah. I can't really remember the trajectory. I'd have to look over properly.
But it's you. So it's you, your sister, and your brother that run it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was your dad involved?
Yeah,
initially?
my dad was involved.
Yeah.
He helped us sort of get it going. But it was more a case of just posting in there, just posting the latest news. And my sister, to be fair to her, she still does it today, and we'll have her on here at some point.
She's the main
she's
main admin. Isn't
yeah,
she?
yeah,
main
yeah.
poster.
Yeah.
So everyone probably knows Chloe more than us.
She's gutted she's not on it today. She's like,
Yeah.
why are you doing the first episode without me? I am in the group. And I'm
I
like,
did
well,
think this before.
Yeah,
We'll get her on.
yeah. She'll be the star. Not, I can't even say guest, because if I say guest, she'll get livid.
She'll be the host.
Yeah,
main
she'll be
host.
the main host. So yeah, set it up, and it went from strength to strength. And as West Ham started doing better over the last couple of years, of course, you know, people are more interested and more invested, and I think it pretty much went from 8,000 followers or 8,000 members, and then when we had that good season where we finished sort of just outside the top, was it 6th or 7th?
I think we finished 6th, didn't we?
Yeah, and
got into Europe,
and everyone was well jumping on the bandwagon, and before you know it was just going up 1,000 members.
I remember when
every couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, we went to a few games, didn't we?
Yeah.
So me and Sam go to quite a few games together. Obviously, you got a season ticket.
Yeah.
Now. I had a season ticket up until last season, and then obviously I've got 2 kids now, so I've got other commitments, so I couldn't go every week. So I still go with Sam a lot. So we was there and we was just chatting to people, weren't we, in the concourse? And I remember you saying, you just chatting to this bloke and saying, "Oh, are you on Facebook?" And he was like, yeah. And you said, I've got a West Ham group. And he joined it. And then from there, it's like everyone you chat to about West Ham, it's just join our group on Facebook.
Yeah,
It's so easy to get on, and
yeah.
Like you can post whatever you want, can't you?
Yeah, that's
within
it.
Reason.
I think for me, when I realised actually my group was quite big, well, apart from the member count, I'd sit on the train, I looked to my right, and there's a guy on my group, and I think, that's quite cool. And then I'd be, you know, in random different West Ham group chats, and then people would be posting posts from the West Ham group, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, because it's a group, it's not a page, people are posting their own posts, but they're using the group to do
as
it.
a platform,
and it's nice.
There's been a few really good posts recently, isn't there, where things have sort of gone viral from your group almost. So like the bloke that had the Declan Rice mural on the side of his pub.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
like
we'd like to get him on here actually.
70,000 likes, didn't it?
Yeah,
And then you got the West Ham carpets.
Yeah, the carpets.
Another person we want to get on here.
I think the big one was there's the bedroom. I think the one with the lower likes was the bedroom, and the Everton and bedroom, Everton and West Ham bedroom, and that went. I think it had like a 3 million reach. And for me, it's never been about like, oh, I've had this many members, I've had this much people like my page, but then it gets to a point where you actually think, you know, this is
a big group.
This is huge.
Yeah.
Like, we need to do something about it.
And I think it's good that, like you said, it's never been about, oh, we've got like 1 million like reach on this post, or we've got this, we've got that. It's just having that community and the whole reason you started it was to have that community,
Yeah.
and you've got that now. And I think it's really good that people can post in that group, and it gets a lot of interaction as well.
Yeah.
So you've got
Yeah.
a lot of people that will post an opinion, and it'll get 100, 200 comments, and it's
Yeah.
all obviously you get the odd like little argument on there, but
That's what it's about.
that's going to happen, isn't
Yeah,
it? But
yeah.
no, a lot of it is really good, and it's didn't you say it's the most active group on Facebook?
Yeah,
West Ham group on Facebook.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
You type in West Ham into the search bar, it's the first one that comes up.
Mm.
But like you say, the description for the group has never changed since I set it up when I was 13. It says, I think it says, your chance to put your view across and debate. I think it says we value your opinion as much as your own. And I've never even looked at changing it, but I saw it the other day and I thought,
It still works.
It's still
doesn't it?
that is what
exactly
it is.
What you set it up to
yeah,
be.
I think part of the growth of the group was when, you know, we signed Ben Rami and a lot of Algerian fans joined.
Yeah.
And at the time I was like, oh, you know, I don't want it to be flooded with lots of different fans because I want it to be West Ham. And from day one, it was a public group. It wasn't privatised at all. And just this week, actually, I've now marked the group as private because we want to keep it more West Ham focused as we grow this pod. We don't want to have Millwall, we don't want to have Tottenham, we don't want to have Chelsea fans jumping into the group because we want it to be more West Ham focused. And maybe that's what's helped, you know, with it being public and enabling all these different groups to come on and debate, which isn't a bad thing. But now as we move forward, I want to keep it more sort of West Ham.
And you've obviously got the people in the group that are going to stay in the group because they won't be kicked out.
No.
But I think it causes some quite good debates, doesn't it? You get some people that say bits about other clubs and it causes debate. But that's what makes it such a good group, is you have other different opinions, and that's why we started this pod, to sort of have a community for West Ham fans. Like, obviously our tagline is by Hammers for Hammers, so we want it to be by Hammers, so us two and Sam and Chloe, your brother and sister, and ultimately have you guys, your opinions and views on West Ham, on what's going on at the club. We wanted to give the fans a voice, didn't we, really?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I think, you know, we want to have guests on here as much as we can. Our setup is in your office, and I mean, you might think, God, these guys have put a lot of effort into this, but actually, we had probably had a conversation about 2-3 weeks ago.
Literally 2 weeks ago. I text Sam and said, have you ever thought about doing a podcast?
Yeah.
And I run a business, and we specialise in like photography, videography, and drone content and social media, basically. So I've got all the gear, all the cameras set up and everything. I've got my office here. So I thought, why don't we do a podcast? Because obviously you've got the group following already. So I text Sam. He said, I've wanted to do it for like 2 years.
Easy,
so
at least, yeah.
Yeah, and then from there, I said, all right, let's have a meeting then.
Yeah.
And about 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And in that time, I've had my second baby, little boy, and then literally come in today to have this first episode. So.
Yeah, here we are, and it leads on nicely to what we want to talk about next, actually. So myself, I also run a business, not my business, but it's a family business, and like it kind of links together. We're both like-minded. We both have big aspirations, and for us, we was like, actually, let's just combine our ethic with what we actually love, and that's West Ham.
Yeah.
So this won't be like work. This will be casual. This is. I look forward to this on a. You know, it's Sunday today. Don't know when this will go out or what the plan is. We'll try and do probably a few different pods, and we'll post it on all the platforms available out there. But we'll just see what happens. But as Joe said earlier on, we went to school together. We live together. Live together?
Live together. Hope not, mate.
Hope not. No, definitely not. Now you've got kids as well. We lived opposite each other, and that was a long time ago.
I moved opposite Sam in 2016.
Yeah.
Which we knew each other from school anyway, didn't we? But then Sam's a year older than me.
Yeah.
So when we moved opposite each other, we sort of got talking more. Went to a few West Ham games together. And went from there, really, didn't it?
That's it,
always mate. Just every time we see each other, just chat about West Ham.
Yeah. All the time.
So we thought, why not make a podcast?
Yeah, bang on.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, content-wise, again, it's all up for debate, really. This is going to be more about who we are, what we do, and you know what the plan is. And I think to start with, you know, we want to do this now because it's the World Cup and it gives us an opportunity off the back of a pretty shit start to the season to actually, you know, reset. Good time to start. Fingers crossed that West Ham come back at the start of the year and turn things around. But we can talk about things like the World Cup. We've got the England badge down there, and I think you know they've had a good tournament so far. A lot of people kicked off when we were. When we drew 0-0 with the US, but I actually thought it was quite a good result.
Yeah.
Whilst it's not what you want to see when
to
you're
start,
in the pub, but
to start a World Cup, the main thing is to get win that first game.
Yeah.
Because you look at sides like Uruguay and
struggled.
I don't know about Uruguay, but Germany especially. Germany losing that first game, and then they're struggling from there to get a result. You're
on the back foot, aren't you?
Yeah, you're on the back foot, and I think for England to win that first game, which obviously it seemed like quite an easy game at the time, winning 6-2, but like Iran obviously showed after that they're not a bad side, by beating Wales. So I think to get off to a good start, and then that 0-0 draw against America, it's not a bad result at all. And then obviously to go and win the last game was just perfect.
It was, a couple goals in a few minutes.
So we're all set now. Obviously we got the last 16 tonight against Senegal.
Yeah, exciting.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on the World Cup as a whole?
Yeah, it's been a strange one, isn't it? I mean, it's probably people say all the time about it, but I think, you know, these lesser sides kind of coming in and turning over. I mean, Cameroon turned over Brazil the other day. Yeah. Obviously,
South Korea beating Portugal,
Japan, all these teams coming in. But I was listening on the radio the other day, and they were sort of saying, you know, in the you know previous World Cups, these sides don't come in as fit. They don't come in as prepared from like a football association point of view, but then the federations. But now the structure behind it all is so good that actually, when you come up against sides like, you know, Ecuador, I know they haven't progressed, but all these
they're good sides.
Yeah, they're good sides. They're really good sides. None, you know.
Enner Valencia.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a player, mate.
He started well, didn't he? But he always seems to get injured every time I watch him. Even at West Ham, I never forget.
Very fragile, wasn't he?
Yeah, there's that game. I don't know who's against. It might have been Hull. Was it Hull? He scored the absolute belter.
That was on his debut.
Was it his debut?
I think so. Yeah, I saw that the other day.
Yeah, but then I'm pretty sure he got injured that game.
But even then, after that, we had obviously him and Diafra Sakho at the time.
Yeah.
And I think we beat City twice, didn't we?
Yeah.
With Sakho and Valencia playing. And I looked at his stats the other day, and Valencia never scored many goals, but him and Sakho worked so well together.
Yeah.
And at the time, that team that we had was quality, wasn't it?
I don't know if we're dreaming, but
we were top 4 at Christmas, weren't we?
Yeah.
And then it all went,
That was Victor Moses. Was there Victor Moses in that side?
Alex Song.
Yeah. God, can't.
I think Victor Moses scored the winner against City, didn't he?
Yeah. Is that is the season? That was the last Boleyn.
That was, yeah.
Yeah. That was the last season of the Boleyn. I'm sure. Oh no, it was Song.
No, maybe that was 14-15, and last season was 15-16, wasn't it?
You have to bear with me on my memory, because to be honest with you, if I say stuff and you think that ain't right, well just ignore it. Cause
we might not always get the facts right. Yeah, just going off memory.
Yeah, kind of. So the setup again behind us, you've got. So this is one of my favourite games I've been to. Although we lost 1-0, was out in Seville with Andy. Shout out to my uncle Andy. We was out in Seville, and we walked out the stadium and we was like, God, we've got to get half and half. I'm not a big half and half fan.
No, we were saying about this, but half and half, you can't. I think, like I said, that my sister got a half and half at her first game. She was like 14 at the time, so my dad got a half and half. It was against Bournemouth, just like as a memorabilia thing. Like obviously you've got this one from Sevilla, but that's obviously a big European game.
Yeah, as I said,
we just said you can't go and get like a West Ham Spurs half and half. That'd just be wrong. But
we come at the ground and we was like, oh God.
It's a nice scarf.
Yeah, and it was we've got to grab one. We were here and stuff it in our pocket. Yeah. But I'm so glad I got it. It's definitely
memories, isn't it?
A big part of the setup. And then this I got done ages ago, and I think I took it with me to Seville.
That must have been the season we got into Europe, wasn't
That's it, yeah. So this was the original logo, up the top right. For the guys that maybe, even though it's our first episode, listening on Spotify or whatever, you can head over to the YouTube YouTube channel or the group or the page, whatever.
Or the page, yeah. Or Spotify also has a feature to watch the video now as well if you're watching on desktop or mobile, I think. But this is all stuff that we need to work out exactly.
Yeah.
But you'll be able to watch it somehow.
Yeah. So that flag was done then, and that's the logo for the pod has changed. Obviously, that's Avia West Ham View.
Yeah, we've slightly rebranded it, haven't we?
Yeah, we'll plaster that all over the socials. Then on to your right, Joe, you've got
over this side.
Yeah. West Ham back where we belong, going up, promoted. I mean, we don't have many cup finals to talk about, really, unfortunately. But that was is it going to be 2004? Yeah, 2004.
Yeah, I think you said that was one of your first games, was it?
Yeah, hang on, because we lost in 2004-5 to Palace, and then it was the season after
that we beat 5-6 probably
Preston 1-0.
Yeah,
Bobby Zamora, and yeah,
legend.
So that's all those, and then. What we got? This has got a story behind it.
Yeah, this is my one. So
80th cup final, isn't it?
I've got all my West Ham signed pictures and that up in the office, and this is one of them. So this was the 1980 FA Cup final when we beat Arsenal, and that is signed by Trevor Brooking and Billy Bonds.
Yeah. You picked that up for a one, didn't you? I think.
Yeah, one of that was. So me and my dad went to West Ham Legends Day when we was at Upton Park, and. I don't know if you ever did one, did you?
Mm.
So we got invited by one of my dad's mates, and they were really good days, to be fair. I went to a couple of them, and we went up there, and there was like a six-a-side tournament on the pitch at Upton Park, so I got to play in that, which was wicked. And then you had a lot of ex-players there, so all the sort of the players from sort of the 80s, 90s, and... Yeah, there was Tony Gale as well. Tony Gale does a lot of them, and he used to do like all these speeches and stories, which was brilliant. And then they had like an auction thing as well, and that was on auction. And I think we was on a table with other people that we didn't know before, and the geezer bidded like 350 quid on that or something, and it was just like right down your highest bid.
Yeah.
And he wasn't expecting to win it, and he ended up winning it, and they announced it and gave it to him, and he brought it back to the table, and his mate said to him, "Oh, that'll just go in your garage with all the other ones you got then." And we were like, "Oh, if he's not gonna use it or enjoy it." My dad was like, "Oh, go and offer him 100 quid for it."
So he's paid at 350.
He lost like 250 quid off the bat, and so I went over, and I was like 13, 14 at the time.
Yeah.
And I just said, "Oh mate, would you take 100 quid for that?" And he was like, "Yeah, go on then, mate." And just gave him 100 quid, took it home. And,
Makes no sense at all, does it?
Just lost all his money. But no, I love that one, and that's always a talking point for people that come into the office. They always look at that one.
The frame is beautiful, as well, isn't it?
Framed up nicely. Obviously, two West Ham legends.
Yeah.
Trevor Brooking and Billy Bonds.
Both got stands.
Yeah.
Named after them now.
Yeah, so that's the other one, and then what else we got? I think that's it. We got a signed West Ham 70s DVD set up here.
Best of a
couldn't tell you who that's signed by, but signed by someone. And then on here we've got all our programs and that.
Yes, we got tons more
programs,
but we didn't want to flood
from the 90s all the way through to now, haven't we?
Yeah, right back. But this year, it's like story time, isn't it? But I think when I was a young lad, I had operation on my ears, cry. But my dad wrote to the club, and he was like, "Oh, this has happened to my son, massive West Ham fan, blah blah blah." And they invited me to the training ground for the day, and it was when we had pards like Rufus Brevitt was there, Sheringham, Daly,
Konchesky,
all the rest of them, and signed ball.
Again, couldn't tell you who he signed.
There's some of these signatures are really really faded now, but even then I couldn't tell you.
There,
Chris Cohen's on there, Hayden Mullins, Rio Coca, but and then Pards was in there that day, so that was a good day. And then we've got all these old videotapes that I used to watch over and over again as a kid. I think they're in shot, aren't they? Like 94, 95 season, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4. That's what it's all about. I remember watching them on repeat, honestly.
These coasters as well, who were by...
I think it's...
Who were they by?
I've got it down here, hold on.
They are by...
Pretty sure it's Boot and Ball. We'll probably get in touch with them, because never spoke to them.
Wicked, so we love these. Obviously, we've got Saeed Benrahma. What's that one you got there?
Cyber Rama, we've got the Canio, Suchek, have you got the, is it Strapperman or Starperman beer?
Strapperman or something.
The Czech Republic beer.
We've got the Canio. So yeah,
Same
these are
there.
quality, so
Yeah.
give these a little shout out.
Yeah, boot at Boot and Ball.
Give 'em a follow.
BOOTN Ball on Instagram. There's a code on there, but I don't know if that's in date. 'Cause I've had these for a while, so I
Don't
won't
take
shout
our
the
word
code
for it.
out. But yeah, we'll get in touch with those
Yeah.
guys, and hopefully they can, support us.
And then over the other side, which we haven't got up, I've got a signed Mark Noble shirt, which
Just from a
I
few weeks ago, wasn't it?
literally met him at the Lakeside book signing. Took my little girl up there, my other half. We went up there and met him, got his book signed, which I've got at home. I'll have to bring in. Got his book signed, and yeah, took my shirt in from the 15-16 season, last season at Upton Park, and yeah, he signed that for me. And yeah, he's top bloke.
Yeah.
Exactly as you'd expect him to be.
Yeah.
Very down to earth. Just literally had a chat with him. Told him that I took my daughter to her first game just the week before, and he's just had a lot of time for me, really. Had a lot of time for everyone there, which was
I'm so glad he's from January officially. He's back involved
with
in
the club.
sporting director. I think even for the last few games before the World Cup, they drafted him in. I think because he was on the bench against Leicester. Even though it didn't turn out the way we'd like it, but he was on the bench for that game, so I have a feeling he's probably in there.
What as in a coaching aspect, or
I think because he's going to be as a sporting director, but he's going to be all over the shop.
be heavily
really.
involved, which is perfect for us, I think.
I'm guessing that Moyes might have drafted him in to try and G him up because I think
we needed it, didn't we?
We needed it. I'm not going to doubt the players' effort. I think they've been putting the effort in. I just think it's just not been
clicking, is it?
No, and
I think. So the first half of the season, I think the thing is with West Ham now, because we've had a couple of good seasons, a lot of people are expecting us to be up there all the time now, and like obviously, as a lot of you will know, that's not life as a West Ham fan, and this is what we've gone through this for years, haven't we? Just not really expecting much from West Ham, and then this recently, it's like.
This is
what do we do now?
No, this is why nights like this. I managed to get out to Seville, got a ticket. I was in there. In fact, my foot went viral. I think ESPN, all the big media. I told you about that.
No,
because so the stands were really steep, like really dangerously steep, and obviously
you sending me a picture.
Yeah, well, we packed out the whole end, the West Ham fans, and when we got there, obviously everyone was bladdered. Yeah, been on the piss all day, and we went in and. Kind of as it is normally on an away day, you sit where you want, but it was so steep. Me and Andy and Darren and his pals with at the time was like, we're going to go right to the top because it was so steep that as everyone's had a few, they're going to if you fall forward.
Yeah, there's no barriers on nothing.
And I kid you not, as soon as we got there, we saw it happen. We saw a guy who was up at probably the third from the top, and he fell and he tumbled down, and he took people out on his way. We saw that. We was like, we're going to the top because that way we can hold on to the back.
We'll put a picture in now to show you how steep it was. Yeah,
well, I'll show you the picture that. So Andy took a picture of like how steep it was. And it went everywhere.
Yeah.
But
I remember seeing it on Twitter and Facebook and everywhere. I didn't realise it was your photo.
I think it was being posted in America and all the channels, and I was like, "That's my foot." But no, that was
like that geezer that lost his finger, wasn't it?
Yeah. I weren't there. I weren't in. I think that was in Belgium. Genk. No.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think it was Genk.
It was. It might be Genk.
Or was that this year?
No, that was last season campaign. Yeah, but so I've done that. I actually Frankfurt as well. I flew out to Frankfurt. Didn't have a ticket.
You text me when we went through, didn't you?
Yeah.
And just said, book your tickets to Frankfurt now. And I couldn't go because I had other things on. But
that was a good trip. I mean, unfortunately, I couldn't get a ticket for that one. They were like gold dust. But me and my good West Ham friend, Darius, we went out there and let's just say we got a cab to the ground without a ticket, and a couple of Cockney boys walking around, and we offered decent money, let's say, to these German fans, and they were a good crack. But you got you got West Ham fans coming up to you, right? And we didn't give a toss. We wanted to be in that ground, and we were going to pay.
Just like what they done when they come to London Stadium.
Yeah, this is it.
You just want to get in the ground.
Yeah, but to be fair to them, they were really nice people, and they didn't give up. They honestly, because you hope you bump into someone who's got a spare, someone couldn't make it on the day, and they go, go on, give us whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But we actually bumped into another a fan who was a Frankfurt fan, and he was doing exactly the same thing as us, but Frankfurt, he had a sign which said something in German about I need a ticket.
Need a ticket, yeah. You see it outside the grounds all the time.
Yeah. So that was a good laugh. Another part of that story as well. So when we got the cab from the centre of Frankfurt, I don't know if you remember, Tony Cottee was he was there.
Oh yeah,
and he had the fountain.
middle of the
He was
square,
standing in the middle, singing bubbles. Everyone was going off. There was a wedding going off in the circle at the same time. It was a great laugh. But
we'll stick that video in as well.
Yeah, we'll find that video, get it in there. But I got a cab and I left my phone. I had a few drinks that day. I left my phone in the cab, and I'm going, Darius.
Germany.
Yeah, both of us had a few, and I'm going, Darius, what are we going to do? And then suddenly it just sprung to my mind that I know my phone number. In fact, it doesn't matter. Darius has got my number. He's got his phone. So called it. Cab driver called up. Yeah, €50 and I'll bring it back. He's round the corner, for God's sake. And he come back and I just chucked him €20 and I said, give me my phone now.
Yeah, trying his luck.
Yeah. But
you would though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would, of course, yeah. But that's another part of the story. So anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
So we want to know what would interest you guys now. You know, the group's constantly got stuff, and we're going to do a section probably for Have a Scroll, or I don't know what we called it, Have a Scroll. Or
I think it was Have a Scroll, where we sort of look through our phones at some questions and comments from people in the group or direct messages or whatever, and just talk about some of the best points that we think is worth talking about. So we'll definitely do that in future. I think we'll probably put a post up midweek maybe, and just say we're doing a podcast this Sunday. Any topics you want to talk about, whether it's current West Ham stories from the past, or
I think a big one this week,
a
big breaking one this week was about Rice's comments when he was asked by the journalist in Qatar about Champions League football, and
this is the thing. It got. We were saying before, weren't we, that I think it's been taken out of context, as a lot of things do with the media, because a lot of people didn't know what the question was, did they? Because that wasn't shown. It was just plastered everywhere of Rice going, obviously I've got a lot of mates that I want to play Champions League football, and everyone's seen it and gone, oh, Rice is leaving.
Yeah.
And in fairness to him, he's just been honest, which he always has been. Someone's asked him a question, and the question was, do you want to be playing Champions League football? And he's not going to say, do you know what? I want to be playing League One football. He's going to be honest, isn't he?
You know, if he's starting every game for England, you know, he's doing 90 minutes, and if we win,
England's probably.
If we win, he gets taken off because they want to save him for the next game.
Yeah.
I do think I think Stuart Pearce actually said it in a sort of podcasty thing with TalkSport this week, or a couple of days ago. It's that sort of Rice has kind of got the handbrake on a little bit when he plays for England, because we see him every week, and he's got a bit more with Soucek next to him, although he's not been at what we call his best Soucek this season. He's always had that licence every now and then to drive with that ball. I think he's got the most progressions from any centre mid in the Premier League this season, or like.
And it baffles me when you see these comments about Rice, and it's like, does he pass forwards? And it's like, but all these comments are coming from people that ain't West Ham fans.
Yeah, this is it.
And if you watch West Ham week in, week out, you know that Rice will pick up the ball and he'll run the length of the pitch and he'll pass it into the final third. And I saw a stat the other day about England, and I can't remember who it was that said it. It was a pundit, and he said, as soon as Rice starts passing forwards, he'll be a good player. And I was like, mate,
I'm watching every week. I mean, the last season in Europe, he scored a few goals, didn't he?
But the stat was, in that game where Henderson played and Bellingham played, Rice had the highest pass accuracy or pass completion rate. It was like 98%. The most carries into the final third and the most passes into the final third out of him, Henderson and Bellingham. I know Bellingham's obviously different class.
Yeah, he's different.
It just defeats the point really when people are saying he doesn't pass forwards. But
absolutely. Yeah.
I think he has a very different job for England than he does for West Ham, doesn't he?
Oh, massively. With West Ham, we heavily rely on him in
going
all
forwards and in defence.
Yeah. I mean,
whereas England, we've got probably more attacking threat for England, haven't we? So he can just sit and sort of clean things up.
Yeah, for sure, mate. I think as we progress now through the tournament, you know, at 7 o'clock tonight we've got Senegal, and who knows how it's going to go. I think it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I think, you know, we're going to rely on him again to sweep up and break up the play, and then set the attack off. But you've got four players in front of you. Bellingham, you know, who's going to play Foden, Rashford, Saka, Kane,
Sterling. Right, whoever.
And Grealish even, there's
Yeah.
so much attacking threat. You don't want Rice bombing forward.
You just need him to sweep it up,
Yeah.
which he does. Everyone notices that now. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. People that aren't West Ham fans are starting to notice that, bloody hell, he cleans up everything, doesn't he?
Oh, mate, he does.
And that's all he's got to do for England.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think like all players, I think every now and then he has got a little mistake in him, but it's very, very rare. And because he's so relied on at West Ham, if he does make that mistake, it tends to lead to something.
Yeah.
Whether it be a goal or a big chance,
yeah.
because he's so relied upon. When he picks up that ball,
People just get forward because they think, oh, he's not going to lose it.
Yeah.
But
So
he'll give you a solid 7 out of 10 every week.
every week,
won't he?
minimum. I mean, most games I watch, I think, you talk about who played well, who looked a bit off the boil, but with him, 9 times out of 10.
He's always 7, 8 out of 10.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then he'll have the odd game where he's a 9 or 10 out of 10, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely, mate, definitely.
But the thing is, the longer he goes into the tournament, the more people are going to see him. And obviously everyone knows what Declan Rice is now, but he's going to get that more attention. And he's eventually, I think, like we said before, I think you'd be kidding yourself if you said that Rice is going to stay with us for the rest of his career, like Mark Noble, obviously, because at the end of the day, he should be winning trophies, and he is one of the country's best players now. And all I can say is that he's always given 100% for West Ham. He's been very professional in the time that he's been with us, and obviously we'd all love to keep hold of him. But if he does move on, then wish him all the best.
This is it. I mean, those away games, you want the players to come over and give you a clap, and you travel back.
Yeah.
Just think about last year we were at Burnley away 0-0.
Yeah.
And he's the last player off that pitch. He'll come over and give you his shirt.
Yeah.
A bit like Kufal as well on those away games. He'll
clap the fans, and that means a lot to West Ham
Absolutely,
fans. Like even obviously Nobe's done it his whole career. Always went round to every corner of the ground, even if we got thumped 3-0.
Yeah.
And the fans were booing the team. He'd always come over, and that goes a long way.
Yeah.
And
The new signings. And we talk about Rice, about how it's visible his passion for the club, the team, the fans. He comes over at the end of every game, and he's always clapping away. He'd be the last out, just because of what he said this week, you can't look into it too deep. I see a lot of people going, he shouldn't have said that. He's a captain of our club. It's halfway through the season. He's talking about this. No, he's just answered a question.
Exactly.
And it doesn't change anything. He'll still come over to us at the end of, we've got Brentford away coming up. We've got Arsenal away. We've got all these big away games, and he'll still be there.
Be the last one off the pitch.
Yeah. But you can understand. And going on what you said about him with wanting to be playing the Champions League football, he's said many a times that, I want it to be with West Ham. I want us to progress, and it's happening when you've got Europe, but then you've got another European competition in the Conference League. Right, it's not illustrious. I mean, some people don't like it at all.
Yeah.
But
it's European football at the end of the day.
It is,
and you get to the latter stages, and you're playing big teams. Like obviously, who won it last year? Was it PSV?
Roma.
Well, PSV got quite far.
They
didn't
did,
they?
yeah.
And Leicester obviously went quite far.
Yeah, Feyenoord.
So you are playing bigger teams towards the end of the tournament.
Yeah, you are, but it's not the big competition. It's probably, you can imagine there being a bit of banter in the changing room, whatever. But let's be honest, I think he's a player that if this season we did get really far in the Conference League, and we actually had another European finish, right? Not Champions League. Well, that could be leverage to actually say to Rice, you know what?
We are progressing. I think as long as the club's progressing, then we're sort of making the investments that we should do. I think if we, even this past transfer window, we've had a good season last year and the season before. We invested heavily in Paqueta, Scamacca, all these players, and I think as long as we are progressing and we're showing that we're putting that investment into the club, then obviously if Rice decides to go, he decides to go. But the club's done everything it can to keep hold of him. Yeah, and he won't leave on bad terms. We will always, I just hope as long as he don't go Chelsea. I've got a feeling, mate. I do have a feeling. I can't see him in the Liverpool shirt. No. I don't think he'll want to go to United. I think if he's going to go anywhere, he's a Chelsea boy. He is. He is. He'll always be a West Ham boy, part converted, because he's been there since he was 14, whatever, but 15. But I think he is. He's been at Chelsea when he was a young lad. I think, and his best mate plays. Yeah, I think you see the stories. He's never played Sunday League or anything. He's literally just straight into
Chelsea, and he was there when that's all he kind of knew up until West Ham.
Yeah.
So he's now a bit of both, and I think we'll find he'll be going back to Chelsea. That's my opinion, but I'm not going to stick my neck on the line too much. But
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, that's enough on Declan Rice.
Yeah.
I think we'll wrap it up. So.
Yeah. It's been. To be honest, it's flowed quite nicely, and I was just saying off the camera. For us, it's a bit of a weird one, but we're just two pals having a chat about West Ham, and we'll see how it goes.
It's going to be a bit hit and miss to get started with. Like we said, we've never done anything like this before, so it will be a bit hit and miss. We're going to obviously eventually get a sort of schedule in place where we have certain bits that we're going to talk about. We'll have maybe like quickfire questions sections, and we'll have like leaderboards. We'll get guests on here, all that sort of stuff. But for now, this was just sort of a little intro one, wasn't it?
Yes,
see how
mate.
it went.
Yeah.
Give us some feedback. See what you say.
Good or bad, we don't mind. We're aware of what the social media.
We're going to get ripped at some point.
Oh, of course, yeah. I'm looking
sure
forward
we
to
will.
getting ripped, but I still think hopefully we can take it down the chin.
Yeah.
And as I said, any feedback's good. We know that from it helps you progress as a person. It helps you progress as a team, and we'll take it from there really. And hopefully we can get some people that enjoy listening to us as true West Ham fans, just like anyone else.
Just talking about all things West Ham.
Talking about all things West Ham.
Good or bad.
Good or bad, yeah, absolutely.
And I think we were saying about possibly doing a post like midweek on the group. Obviously, if you're not on the group, because there might be people that listen that aren't on the group.
Yeah.
If you're not on the group, join the group. It's called the West Ham View on Facebook. And we were talking about doing a post midweek, maybe saying, what are some topics you want us to talk about this week, or any ideas that people have got, whether that's for us to do like our best West Ham team ever, or anything like that. Any stories you want to hear about, then, or even people sending in stories that we could read out of. I think that might be good. But anything like that, just let us know, and we'll gradually sort of filter it in, won't we? Just see how things go.
I think that's it, definitely.
I think that's it. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys, and let's hope England turn Senegal over tonight.
Yeah.
And then on to the next round, and then we'll get pod number 2 going soon.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Bosh.